Angle what?
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Put It in the Book show. I am Steve. I got Keith right on there.
Hi.
Boom. Keith, what's up, man?
What's up,
How's life? How's that? You got a very dented apple behind you. I like it.
Life is very good.
It's a lot of strawberry, Hojo, the dented apple. All right. Right down here.
You had
Mr. Rodriguez.
Your dad, of course.
Good evening, everyone.
Dad likes it when I mention him. The Divide Line. Let's go, Mets. What's up, guys?
Yellow Cavs back there. Golden Showers.
Divide Line.
Whoa.
Wait, what?
Cut them off.
Like remember
off
the Rock?
already.
Whoa. Hey, Brian.
Cut 'em off.
Brian with the eyes. Brian. So, and producer Joe is here. He's in the building. He's live. He's not in person.
Back there somewhere.
Yeah, he's around. So
he is kind of around.
Lot to talk about as always. Some drama yesterday with the Hall of Fame stuff. The Mets signed a pitcher today. Mets lost out on a couple of players over the last week or so. Brian wants me to go play Call of Duty. Brian, I'm doing a show. I'm great at what I do, but I can't play Call of Duty while I'm doing a show. Can't do it. As we kick
full
off,
of himself, boy.
No, I would like to just correct you and Brian. Steve is on his call of his duty, which is representing the Mets, which is the most important thing. I don't know what team you're a fan of, Brian, but that's the way it goes.
He's a non-intellectual that thinks baseball is boring. So let's get to what we gonna do. And first, Keith is going to talk to us about Brooklyn Water Coffee Roasters.
Yummy.
From their roastery to your front door.
Yummy. Brooklyn Water Coffee Roasters.com. Spelled like it sounds. So sound it out. Type it into your address bar, and you will get to
spells like it sounds, he says.
Brooklyn Water Coffee Roasters.com. The New York Red Sox. Alrighty then.
New York Red Sox.
I mean, that don't bother me. I'm a Met fan, but hey. So, BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com, from their roaster to your front door. Only the finest beans are selected, hand-selected, and picked for your pleasure.
Yummy.
For your pleasure.
BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com. One of my favorite things, just to kind of go out of script a little bit about BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com, is their...
I need you to go off script right now.
I'm always on script, right? Is their... They have a real awesome line of flavored coffees. And if you're not into flavored coffees, sit tight. I got something for you too. But their flavored coffees are so delicious. And I know that anytime I move, my camera shakes. It looks like I'm in an earthquake. Ah! So one of the flavors they have is dark roast, dark chocolate. It is a dark roast coffee with dark chocolate flavoring.
Are you trying to be sexy?
No, I'm trying to be sophisticated to work.
More sexy than sophisticated.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bay. So if you want a pleasure and guilty ridden coffee, dark roast, dark chocolate, right? Because how many calories coming at?
Absolutely zero.
Oh, snap. It's actually guilt-free. So you can go out there and get some dark roast, dark chocolate coffee right now for 0 calories and have no worry about having a third cup.
Go get yourself some chocolate, ladies.
Because we know we all start with 2. Then there's the 50% more energy per cup coffee line, which is my favorite personally. I love Cinnabuzz. I drink Cinnabuzz. It's obviously a little bit of a cinnamon-flavored coffee. And it's got that little extra kick, 50% more caffeine per cup. Wow. That's CUP cup. Not the one you put on your balls, but the one you drink out of. And then there's also the
You can drink out of that cup, too.
You can, but you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
You should.
It's more like a ladle,
Unless you're into that. Then there's also Jacked Up Cupcake, which is what we like to call our friend Rodriguez over here. It's 50% more caffeine per cup in that as well. It's a rich flavor vanilla cupcake coffee. Vanilla cupcake. Cupcakes have a ton of calories, right? Faraj, how many calories coming out again?
What? Absolutely.
Settle.
Boom! Yeah, so check them out. And like I said before, if you're not into flavored coffees,
that's crazy.
That's really unfortunate. There's a
Sucks to
ton
be you,
of
but
coffees out there. Winter Wonderland. What is the other one? The pig one. It's a whiskey bacon infused.
Drunken Pig.
Pig coffee.
Drunken Pig. No.
What is it?
Drunken Pig.
Drunken Pig. Yeah, it's a whiskey bacon flavor infused coffee. It is really delicious, actually. That's not the 50% more caffeine coffee, but it is really good. And
Real
if you
bacon?
like flavored coffee.
Real bacon.
Well, I don't know.
I wish.
Bacon. It's just bacon flavor. And if you don't like flavored coffee, then go ahead and order, hands down, the most popular coffee out there, medium roast coffee. Delicious.
Medium roast.
It's just medium roast. I like medium roast because to me, the more you roast the coffee, the less caffeine it has. And you don't want a burnt taste coffee. But, if you do like that, you can go ahead and get dark roast dark chocolate for 0 calories per cup, that is.
How many peas in there?
How many peas? Who peed in your coffee?
Cup.
Who peed in your cornflakes? So www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. From their roaster to your front door, only the finest beans are selected for your pleasure. Check them out now. And if you act now, you got to act now, though. It's got to be within the next 5 minutes. I'm just kidding, but really, hurry up. Use the code Pop Culture Pros. You see it scrolling on the bottom, Pop Culture Pros, and you will get your 3rd bag free. So, lengthen your arm and shorten your pockets, reach in there and buy a 2nd bag, and you'll get a 3rd bag free, and you'll have coffee to last you a little while. I suggest you try all those different flavors because they're awesome. BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com, from the roaster to your front door. Guaranteed to ship within 24 hours of its roast date.
Boom.
Very nice. Very well done today.
All right. Excellent job, Keith. As always. Let's start this bad boy off. Some comments. I'm fired from Call of Duty.
Sorry,
you're fired.
Yeah, hold on.
Call of Duty.
Joe just reminded me, and so did Mrs. Farach. There's also Morning Wood. Very strong, very delicious. I actually am a big fan of Morning Wood. My 3 favorite flavors are Cinnabuzz, Morning Wood, and I wasn't going there. That's
I'm there.
Morning Wood, Cinnabuzz, and Winter Wonderland. My 3 personal favorites. But try them all. You find your personal favorites because they are delicious.
Personal. Oh boy.
Don't forget
family issues going on in the chat there.
Apparently. You guys see that?
Yes.
There you go. Uh-oh.
Thanks, Mom. All right. So let's
don't do it.
And Brian's watching. We sent along congratulations. Him and his significant other are having a child. So congratulations there.
Congratulations.
Yes. All right. So let's really quick. Let's get started here. Like I said, we have a lot to cover. But first, a little cheers to the recent passing of Hank Aaron, the true home run king. Big cheers to Mr. Aaron, who very good friends with one Tom Seaver. If you haven't read some of the stories out there with those two, go ahead and check them out. Really interesting and kind of fun to see. Hear from Tom Seaver's side of him pitching to one of his idols. And just the story real quick. He got Hank Aaron to ground out, or I don't know if it was double play or not, on a hard sinker. And the next time up, his first time ever facing him, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna outsmart this guy. I'm gonna make him ground another ball into the ground." And he threw him a hard sinker, and he hit it 17 miles over the left center field wall. So that's when know you're facing major leaguers.
A true great. Hank Aaron.
So
it was great for a long time. 25 years or something like that.
True home run king.
The true home run king.
And not just a baseball great, but a social justice, equality pioneer. Love him.
All right, so let's do this. Let's run down a couple of key free agent signings. The one's not really key. Buffalo goes to the Detroit Tigers. Frank Tercio, what's up, man? He goes to the Tigers on a 1-year, $2 million deal. I'm not quite sure exactly what they're going for there. If he's going to be the DH, or
that's
if they're going to have him
cheap deal. That's a really
Wow. $2 million.
No,
only $2 million.
No one was biting.
You know what? And I think
he dropped a lot.
I think that has a lot to do with baseball today because of the pandemic, because all the teams lost money last year. But with the type of bat that he has, signing with an American League team, he's worth way more than that. So they got a good pickup on him. And I'm glad that he's making some money and playing baseball, because the guy's a class act, great hitter, terrible catcher, though. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's rough. We have our catcher, so we wish him the best of luck. So another catcher signed yesterday, signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. JT Realmuto. So he signs for 5 years, $115 million. So very interesting to hear some of the stories. You remember back when the Mets signed McCann, we were wondering why the Mets moved so quickly on McCann. Then we kind of found out that Realmuto wanted to take his time, and then the Mets did the right thing. They moved forward, got their guy, got McCann. Then there was the talks about he wants $200 million, and then that's it. And you kind of heard the Braves kind of get involved there for a second, which freaked me out just a touch, because the Braves are who I see as our competition in the National League East. And then he winds up signing 5 years, $115 million. So if there were talks about, yes, he might have talked about, in his circle going to the Mets. He really blew the opportunity, by saying, I'm going to take my time, and the Mets just weren't up for that. What do you guys think about, Realmuto? You guys see the comparison of the last few years, McCann and Realmuto kind of pretty much on par. What do you guys think?
Well, I think the last couple of years, if you look at their stats, they're pretty much the same guy. Yeah. So you got yourself a catcher right away who's been playing just as well as Real Mutton. He didn't want to come here.
Fake Muto.
Fake Muto. Okay, that's even better. I don't care. Call him whatever you want to call him.
I like them both.
Just call him a filthy, stinking liar. Stay over there in Philadelphia.
Brian Holmes
We
sucks.
don't need you. Brian Holmes sucks all day. Plus, if this kid plays the same way he's been playing the last couple of years, great. He'll be a nice steal, because honestly, those are really good stats for a major league catcher. And he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on him because he's been mostly a backup. So he hasn't played that many games. I think for the next 2 or 3 years, he stays on that level that he's been playing for the last couple of years. That'll be a fantastic deal for us, man. Up until that young guy comes up from the minor leagues, Alvarez, will be good.
Yeah.
So,
Keith?
Yeah, I think that honestly, I think the Phillies got a really good deal on him. The guy is, pretty much you can say without contention the best catcher in baseball right now. They got a good deal on him, and he really should have not held out, because he probably could have made more money. He held out. He was trying to be stubborn. The temperature in baseball right now, like I was saying earlier, because of the pandemic, is a little rough. People are not going to get those same kind of contracts. I don't know what the Mets offered him. We probably tried to offer him a short-term deal, and he denied it. But I think if he played his cards better, he could have got a little bit more money.
How many years did he get?
Five for 115 point something.
And what is he, 30?
29.
29.
So the Phillies got a really good deal. Here's what I really like about it. He didn't go to the Braves because he would have made the Braves a much better team. B, he doesn't make the Phillies better because he was already there. And the Phillies just spent a bunch of money on him, probably not going to spend much more money. So from a divisional standpoint, where the Mets stand, it's beneficial to us that he stays where he's at. And good for him. He
should have
got
signed with Seattle.
Seattle.
And good for the Phillies. They got a good steal on him. I'll be honest. I thought he would make a little bit more money than that. But I think
he wanted more money. Probably. That's why he was holding out, right?
He played his cards wrong. And then once he played his cards with us, with that whole stubborn, I'm waiting for another deal and so on. The Mets said, okay, well, see ya. We went out and got McCann. And once the Mets were out of the market, because we were the hot deal for him. We were the team with money. It really it put him into a position where he had to sell for a little less.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as Tom is talking about in the comments, Realmuto overplayed his hand by a lot. He probably could have been with a much better team. Yeah, and Raul, thanks for joining. Remuto read the market wrong. Absolutely, 100%. You know,
Right
you cannot go. We talked about this, right? The three of us have talked about this, and Joe in the chat is at the beginning of the season. You're looking for $200 million, and then you really come to realize that if you're going to get $200 million, it's only with the Mets because the Mets have the owner that did not lose a ton of money.
I got listeners agreeing with me. What's happening? We should just end this show now.
He could have ended up with $160 million. He could have ended up with that. Honestly, if he would have signed early, not been stubborn, and come with us. But he didn't want to come to New York. So screw
all
him.
good.
No, you know what?
Philly's
got a good deal on him. But truth of the matter is, the Phillies. The only reason why they did that is to appease their fans. They're not looking to really spend money, so now they're going to have all this money poured into
double whammy
and him.
Oh, they would have heard it from. I mean, their fans would have went ballistic. I mean, you trade all these guys, and then a year later, done. What?
I don't blame them. I'm going to be a little ticked off if we do the same thing with Lindor, but let's see what happens.
I don't see it. I don't see it happen.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think that's a must.
All right, let's switch gears here for a second. So yesterday was the Hall of Fame vote, if you will, and
non-vote,
so the non-vote vote. So I think it was the 9th time in history that there were no players inducted in the Hall of Fame. So I want to read out some percentage. So you need 75% to get in, and just some higher echelon names, if you will. Kurt Schilling, 71.1%. So he was, it's so funny to hear how the baseball writers were talking about this, and it really is like a political thing because and not politics wise. It's everybody's trying to think who's going to vote this way, who's going to vote that way, and at the beginning of the day, based on how many voters that they knew were going to vote for him, he was above the 75% mark. He was about 76%. And it's funny. I was listening to Dan Lebitard's show yesterday, and he was moving further and further down until he settled at 71.1. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, a couple of steroid guys, 61.8 and 61.6. So obviously the same people voting.
I think that's a lot.
It is, and they didn't move in the right direction from last time. I believe next year is their last hurrah on this list. One interesting big jump was Scott Roland. Scott Roland has been in the 30%, 35% range. He jumped up to 53%, and there's a lot of talk within the Baseball Writers Association that Scott Roland could, he's got 5 more years on the ballot. And
it's not the Hall of Very Good. It's not.
Well, can you pull that up, Keith? Can you pull up a stat? I didn't even get a chance to look at it. And I'll go through a few more.
Producer Joe can do it.
Maybe Joe's got it. Omar Vizquel's on there, 49.1%. Billy Wagner, 46. Todd Helton, 44.
Billy
Sheffield.
Wagner's a great closer.
We're gonna get to that. I do have his stats
real quick. Scott Rollins, 17 years in the league. I'm just gonna go by his 162 game average, and then I'll compare that to his career stats. And we'll start with batting average? Yeah, 281 career batting average, and also 162 game average. He averaged over 162 games, 102 RBIs.
That's good.
Which is a little seems off to me. I'm just going to go by his career stats because I don't believe that. He's got
overall
1287 in 17 years. That's not 102 RBIs average. Sorry.
Well, remember 162 game average is as if they're healthy for 162 games. I don't know how many games he played a year, but
he played 2,038 games. But anyway.
Oh my God, this isn't that hard.
316 home runs. What's not that hard?
316. That's not Hall of Fame worthy.
Career hits.
Third baseman.
2,077 hits.
No.
No. I mean, yeah, he's a third baseman, correct. RBIs. He did steal a bunch of bases. 118. He was a good player. He was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-time All-Star. Rookie of the year.
Scott Roland, dude.
He's a very solid player.
He was he was a good player, but he was no David Wright.
No,
He's a good player. Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame.
who?
Nah.
What do you mean who? Oh, okay.
The
Captain, baby.
The
All right.
Captain. We always talk
then,
about you, Captain. We miss you.
Come on the show. Come on the show, Cap.
If you can hear us, Keith,
and then the really
walk at him.
don't do that.
Walk at him for good luck to come on.
Oh, that's good luck.
George says Vizquel, no way.
Yeah, Vizquel's
no way.
But I mean,
his mustache maybe.
Good for him. 50,
what do you guys think, real quick? Do you think that do you think that this guy Schilling deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
No. Wait, hold on, hold the phone on that real quick.
No,
Jeff Kent still 32%. Andrew Jones around the same. Manny Ramirez 28.7.
No,
there we go.
Cheater.
There we. This is great, producer Joe. Thank you.
Joe. He's a beast.
Well, I'm a little further down than that. Sammy Sosa 17%. Andy Pettit, our favorite injector, 13.7. And then you got guys like Mark Burley, Torrey Hunter, Bobby Abreu, Tim Hudson, all in the single digits.
How, do you guys, when you hear the name Andy Pettit, do you not suddenly visualize
a big ass injection?
Yes, sticking in the ass with a needle.
A needle.
That's all I see.
A needle.
All right. So let's get to Curt Schilling real quick. Curt Schilling does not get in the Hall of Fame yesterday, 71.1%, and then he throws a tantrum and said, "Take me off the ballot."
How many wins does he have?
216.
216 wins.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. So he cries foul and he starts talking all this crap about the baseball writers, and he's been doing that the whole time. By the way, if you want to get into a Hall of Fame or if you want to get into public office,
he's not likable.
The best way to do things is to talk about those that are voting for you. And he says, take me off the ballot, which by the way they're not doing. It's a rule. Now I hope he goes down to like 12% next year.
One more year, yeah, you go down to like 18%. Yeah, like real
do
bad.
It.
Right out.
He says that he wants to wait for the Veterans Committee, which is what they do after they're done with their chances with the writers. And the Veterans Committee is it's the peer group, right? So, all the experts are out there saying that it doesn't matter who they go to. He's not getting in the Hall of Fame.
No.
And so
he doesn't have the stats.
216 wins. What else, Keith? Strikeouts. I mean,
3,000.
You want to put the fake bloody sock? You want to do fake bloody sock? I mean,
that was all a gimmick. That was ketchup.
Yeah, ketchup.
That was ketchup. Come on.
I guess it gave it away when the dog came running on the field and started licking his leg.
Started licking his leg, right?
I'm like, why the hell did I keep talking over me? It's like I feel like I'm at work. I was on mute.
Were you on mute? Oh,
yeah.
Oh my god.
But I didn't even see your mouth moving. Sorry. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Career average is his career stats for a 20-year career: 216 wins, 146 losses. That's a 5.97 career average. Career 3.46 ERA.
That's a very good ERA.
Very good for 20 years. Yep. He pitched a little over 3,200 innings. He had strikeouts, 3,116 career strikeouts.
Okay, barely.
Versus 711 walks. Okay. He had a career 1.1 whip. I mean, I think personally, just based off his on-field stats, he's a heavy contender.
It's borderline.
It's borderline. But here's why. Hold on one sec, Rodriguez. The reason why I say it's borderline is because he had some streaks. And then he had some injuries and bad years, and then he had a lot of Cy Young. He had a lot of ups and downs. He has not won any Cy Youngs. He fell into second place for Cy Young 3 times.
So he's just a crybaby.
And he's a 6-time All-Star. Never an MVP, never a Cy Young winner. But he had some stellar years. I mean, if you go back, even that 1 year in Boston, 2004, he was 21-6 with a 3.26 ERA. Then in Arizona, we all know that
he
year.
doesn't have the overall stats, bro. You can't pad him up season by season. He doesn't have the wins. His ERA is very good. His strikeouts are good.
So
but that's about it.
For me personally, I mean, I'm not media, so I have no weight on any of those votes.
You're the best.
I am the media. I think for me, if I'm looking at somebody who is a Hall of Famer, I want to look at a period of time where they were dominant and one of the best, if not the best people in the league or players in the league for that position, right? So if you look at a DeGrom, obviously the last 5 years, he has been completely dominant. And when you go back and
DeGrom doesn't need
consider him for the Hall of Fame, you can say this guy was extremely dominant and killed the league for this amount of years. But when you look at Schilling, he did kill the league for several years, but very spread out. You know, it was like, I'm going to go 2002 to 2005, and I'm just going to list off his amount of wins. 22, 23, 8, 21, 8, 15, 9. I went a little beyond that, but what I'm saying is,
see, that's not greatness.
When did he retire?
He retired in 2000 after 2007 season.
Okay, so I know George talking about the 300 win. When Schilling played, the 300 win number was still that era is still 300 wins.
That was still a 300 win.
My thought, now, and we've talked about this. Now it's not. Right. You might get a guy if you die. Yeah, right. So because people aren't going deeper in games, the win total. I mean, look at a historic season that DeGrom had. And he's a 500 guy, but he had an ERA of 1.71, and he's done that type of a thing for several years. So when you dominate like that, then you need to start reconsidering what is a Hall of Famer in different eras. We've had the dead ball era, we've had the steroid era, and now it's just the balls are juiced, the balls are not juiced. What's going on? Pitchers are not going deep in games. Everybody's going 5 innings. So it's completely different now. But when Schilling was around, so he pitched from 87 to 2007. That's still, to me, absolutely 300 wins.
That's the 300 win era for sure.
Is the mark.
I saw him pitch 7 into the 7th, into the 8th, into the 9th. Sometimes I've seen him do that. That was that type of pitching still. So
and he also played on some lousy teams. You got to give it to a guy
who with the Red Sox, with the Phillies. You got
to give it to a guy who played 20 years and ended the season with a 1.137 WHIP and a 3.46 career ERA.
What was his
Hall of Fame?
I know he was in the. I'm just I know he was in the postseason a lot. What are his postseason stats?
Why you got to throw me off like that? Postseason stats. He had 19 starts in the postseason with a 2.23 ERA. 133 postseason innings, 0.968 WHIP, and out of all of those innings,
how many World Series?
I think just 2. Oh, he had 2
right here. Look up at the screen, guys.
I see it.
All right,
it's very tiny.
So 11 and 2, 2.23 ERA in the postseason, 133 innings pitched, a WHIP of 0.968. All right. So, I mean, you do need to take into consideration the playoff stuff. He clearly dominated in the playoffs, postseason, that kind of stuff. So, I don't know if it's necessarily a conversation of, he's gotten to 71%. And without all the bullshit that he went through, that he's talked and this and that, and did you talking crap about the writers, I'm pretty confident in the fact that he would have gotten into the Hall of Fame had he not shit talked the people that vote.
Listen,
it's not the right way to go about things.
Listen, here's the way I look. Here's the way I look at this Hall of Fame thing. If you take the Hall of Fame and you make this 100%, right? This whole thing is 100% for the Hall of Fame. If Schilling is right where he should be at, 71%. He was very, very, very good. Okay, not quite 100% good enough to get into the Hall of Fame. He still needed a couple, maybe another 30 or 40 wins in that era convinces me. If he was at 240, 250, 255, 260 in that, maybe in that range, then I'm really rethinking it because I think he had some more steady seasons. But as Keith pointed out before, looking at the stats, he goes from 20 to 8, 15 to 9. He was very herky-jerky. So, I don't consider him a Hall of Famer. I think he was a great pitcher, though. Don't get me wrong, and I respect him as a ball player. As a person, I think he's a piece of garbage.
I wouldn't have an issue if he got voted in. If I was one of those media people who were voting, probably wouldn't vote for him.
You're not.
In 5 years, we'll have our votes. Don't worry.
But I think that like if they voted him in, I wouldn't be upset because he's done a lot of great things throughout his career in terms of winning. Like Tom pointed out, beating that, I won't say the L word that he put up there, but beating that Yankee team, the bloody sock, all that nonsense. I think
the bloody sock.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of really great moments in baseball. So I can understand if he got in, but yeah, I just don't think it's hard. He's borderline. That's really what it is.
I really think it all. When you talk about the postseason stuff, I really think that he is slightly above borderline. But you just can't do the things that you do. You can't talk crap about the guys who are voting you into the Hall of Fame, and then you can't react the way that you reacted yesterday. It's just not. That's not going to do anything for you. You've done yourself no favors.
It's not even that he talks about the Hall of Fame guys. It's his general type of being, the things that he says. He got fired from his gig as an analyst, right, from Fox.
ESPN.
Right? Was it from ESPN? I'm surprised he's not an analyst on Fox, considering that's where he should be.
So here's the one thing that bothers me, and I think George is. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying, but I think he's touching on this. Where, I think the problem is you shouldn't have to.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
This is not a presidential election. Okay, he should not have to treat people a certain way. What he did on the field is what he did on the field, and what he did on the field is what he should be judged on, whether he gets to the Hall of Fame or not.
It's not good enough.
Yes, he's an asshole.
That's my point.
And that's fine, and that's your opinion, and it's a valid one. But he's an asshole. But him being an asshole has nothing to do with him getting to the Hall of Fame. But unfortunately, when it comes to these media voters, it has a lot to do with it.
But Farachi's saying, don't egg him on. Don't make it worse for yourself.
There's no need for that.
Wait, why don't put in his mouth, but also the media people should have some integrity and vote based off of his performance on the field, not based off of his mouth when he retired.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I call you an asshole, you're not gonna.
If we call you a name, what are you gonna do?
But anyway,
if you're Michael Jordan and you call me an asshole, and then it comes time to vote you in the Hall of Fame, obviously there's no comparison, right? But
Babe Ruth wasn't 100% Hall of Famer. People don't vote for whatever the reason is. So the comments are great. Keep that stuff going, George. I get what you're saying about the postseason matters, but in baseball, I feel it matters a little bit less. I mean, it's 25 guys. It's not a guarantee you're getting to the postseason. If Mike Piazza was a borderline guy, you can't really judge his postseason. But in this situation, we do have stats there. So
I think I would have voted him in. That's me. But anyway.
All right. Well, he's a crybaby, and I'm happy that he's not in. There it is. Let's switch gears to Billy Wagner real quick. Let's take a look, because he what was his percentage that we said in the 60s or so? Billy Wagner, no, lower than that, 46.4%. So let's hit his stats. Billy Wagner, he played 16 years. I'm not going to go over his win-loss. Okay. He's a closer. 2.31 ERA.
2.31.
422 saves.
422.
Pretty
Very
damn
nice.
good. 903 innings pitched, 1,196 strikeouts. His WHIP was less than 1.
How does he compare to John Franco?
You're like reading my mind because Franco was over the 400 mark also. Let me try and pull that. I wrote Johnny Franco. Johnny Franco didn't come up. John Franco did.
Those 3 years, I know for a fact that 3 years he was on the Mets, he was amazing. Billy Wagner.
John Franco, 2.89 ERA. Played 21 years, 424 saves, 1,245 innings pitched, 975 strikeouts. I mean, he wasn't a strikeout guy. The WHIP. So the WHIP is higher, 1.33, and we remember those, right? The walks to lead off the inning, heart attack city. I mean, Billy Wagner. Every closer that we've had is. I mean,
there hasn't been one.
Never easy. So I mean, both of them over 400 saves. Both of them, I would say, great to elite at their jobs. I mean, you get over 400 saves, ERAs less than 3. Both of them. Franco had a lot of.
Franco's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Franco was as a closer. And this might have been his he pitched 67 games, so he was a reliever the day. He was 12-3 in with the Reds, 1985, which is crazy for a reliever. But you know, when he got traded to the
multiple innings, then
yeah. You know, but just I mean, ERAs in the one, a lot of years with ERAs in the ones. Wagner also. I mean, very comparable. I mean, the Wagner was obviously more of a strikeout guy. But very, very comparable. You guys think? I mean, Franco's past his time, but
guys with a lot of torque on their left-handed arms.
Torque, science
101.
So, what do you guys think? They belong in? It's tough for me to
Is there anyone with less than 400 saves in there?
That's where I was going. We'd have to take a look at that and maybe produce a joke.
Before we even get to that, just real quick, my opinion on Billy Wagner. Yes, he deserves to be in there. Why? Based off of my last rule, he was so dominant for a good stretch of his career, and the guy, 422 saves in 16 years. He was a real stopper. Look at it. Just look at what he did through his career. I would definitely vote. And not only that, one of the few relievers to actually be considered multiple times for the Cy Young Award. You don't hear that too often, but he was.
He was a great reliever, dude. He was a fantastic reliever. He could throw really hard, man. He came on that 3/4 angle, if I remember.
He had that rising fastball up and away to righties.
I mean, he could throw hard. He was throwing 97, I think, right? I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah. Producer Joe says 8 closers have been inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame: Dennis Eckersley, Raleigh Fingers, Goose Gossage, Trevor Hoffman, Mariano Rivera, Lee Smith, Bruce Sutter, and Hoyt Wilhelm. I mean, eight closers in the history of closers are in the Hall of Fame. So
that's going to have to change because closers are a big part of the game now, and they've been a big part of the game for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
guys like Franco and Wagner, those guys are very important in games. People prepared for them, and they kept them in the bullpen, waiting to bring them in to win the game. That's how important they were. So what they did is very valid in baseball, and it's been valid for the last 20, 25 years. They need to be in the Hall of Fame.
I think both are. To George's point, Wagner and Franco kind of overlooked it. I mean, Wagner's still on the ballot, so he's there's a potential as we go forward. Not sure how many more years he's got left, but Franco's kind of done there.
But listen, also remember Johnny Heart Attack. I think it stands. He's the lefty reliever with the most saves in baseball. 424. So I mean, that's something to really take into account too. I think they both deserve.
Billy Wagner should come in and try to get 3 more.
Wow.
Come back.
Come on back, baby.
I'll make a comeback. I just gotta get 3 more saves.
But I think they both deserve a Hall of Fame vote. Franco and Wagner.
Yeah, producer Joe points out Wilhelm was in '85, so it is a newer position in the Hall of Fame. But Rodriguez, like you said, it's really an integral part now. I mean, where would the Yankees have been without Mariano Rivera? Where would the Padres, and then he went to the Brewers, but Trevor Hoffman. I mean,
you're talking
lockdown
about
guys.
580 something, right, for Hoffman, and how many did Mariano have?
Over 600.
Over 600.
Insane. He saved over 600 games.
So he was integral in 600 games where you actually saved it. He might have lost maybe 20, 30. Who knows?
I mean, David Wright had a walk-off hit off of him. Yeah, that was a blown save. Matt Franco.
Remember that. Just remember that, Mariano.
Matty Franco. Bases loaded, base hit to right.
Well, there you go.
If you look at the Yankees without Mariano Rivera, I mean, their postseason success has declined tremendously.
His postseason was insane. He was taking
him and taking a look at the success of the Yankees and comparing to their postseason really tells you a lot about baseball today and the importance of a closer.
Yeah. Think about it. Over 600 regular season saves. How many postseason saves did that man have?
Now
every single year they were.
He's a closer. As a closer in the postseason, this is just the success the Yankees had. He had 141 innings in the postseason. That is just plain freaking
a lot.
With 42 saves, a 0.759 WHIP, and a 0.70 ERA. I mean,
652 saves
of all time,
and he had one pitch. Like Joe is pointing out, the best cutter in the history of the game.
All it has to do is move and move fast.
Yeah, and not to talk too much about Mariano Rivera, but his style was so
you gotta respect him.
Calm. I think I remember an interview with Familia where he was trying to mimic just the calmness of it. Mm-hmm. Just kind of take your stride and then just whip it in there. And he's the best closer in the history of the game. And I don't know that we'll ever see that ever again.
In 18 years, 18 years of being a closer, 2.85 was his worst ERA, and it only happened once. He had under 2 ERA several times. But enough of this Yankee.
And by the way, didn't he miss a whole year with a torn ACL because he was shagging fly balls?
I do remember that. I don't know. Let me take a look.
So he could have had 700.
It doesn't show anywhere here he missed a whole year, but in 2012 he only played 9 games.
Yeah, they could not hit that pitch. They could not hit that pitch.
You knew it was coming.
Couldn't hit it.
Broken. He probably has the major league record for broken bats too.
19-year career. He's got like 10 under 2 ERA seasons. He did start in 1995. It shows he started 10 games. They must have, and he didn't do too well. They must have said, okay, he's got a good cutter. Pull him out. Put him. Yeah.
That was when they had what's his name?
That was early. That was his first year, no? Or second year?
John Wetland.
Wetland. Then Wetland became the setup man.
Became a crackhead too.
Yeah. he became an issue. All right, let's get a couple more things to talk about, and we might move our fun to next week. Let's talk about our former GM. Why don't we for just a moment, Brody Van Waggen. So I was talking right before the show about this, and it is. Now, kind of like when we look back at it, we were all the same type of thing. Like we just hired an agent to be the GM. And then, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the move the Mets needed to make. Maybe we have an agent as the GM, and this is what's going to help us. This is going to propel us. Well, that didn't work out. Brought in Cano, he was the architect of the Cespedes deal. Jed's dead. So kind of a nightmare there. He did bring in Edwin Diaz.
No, he didn't do the Cespedes deal.
He represented Cespedes, so he He was the jerk that conned our former GM into doing it. Hey, he's a good salesman, man. Listen, so
he also gave us a colonic by giving up Kalenic.
Well, if Edwin Diaz does for the next several years what he did last year, then I forgive.
Listen, forgive it already. He's only 25, dude.
Yeah, no.
Kid, he fixed himself. I told you. I saw him.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right, relax then.
Interesting fact about the shirt that you're wearing. I heard a story this morning, Bigfoot. So there is, and not going to get political here, but there's a senator in the state of Oklahoma that introduced a bill to the floor to bring in a hunting season for Bigfoot. That's where we are in the world right now.
Oh my God.
And you know what happened?
It passed?
The people that, because I guess Oklahoma leads the country in Bigfoot sightings. I thought it was like in the lakes, like Michigan and that stuff, but no. But then they also explain they have the number 2 most amount of marijuana dispensaries in the country. So kind of go hand in hand there. People were upset about it because
not insult marijuana smokers.
No,
because
that's the connection.
Don't
get defensive.
It has not. It has nothing. One has nothing to do with the other.
There.
Bigfoot is not real, and people.
Hold on. So
I just wanted
to make this a quick story and then go back to Brody.
You went the wrong way with it. You went the wrong way with it. You pissed me off.
Let's go.
How did I go the wrong way with it? It's a goddamn story, Keith. What the hell?
It's not real.
We should take
anyway. So people got
to watch TV, not
okay. What a goddamn killjoy, man! Jesus Christ!
Wow.
So anyway, people were complaining. Don't go hurt the Bigfoot. So then that senator went back and said, put in the bill, he is to be brought in alive. Nicely. Yep. All right. So Brody today, Brody gets a new job. He's a little shot in the arm. It's no big deal. Dude, now we got producer Joe for the record. Bigfoot is real.
Bigfoot is real. Joe said he's in his backyard.
Brody is now the COO of Jay-Z's company, Rock Nation. Brooklyn, so he returns back to his roots. So
he's an agent.
What do you guys think? I mean, it seems like that's his thing. That's where he should have been, right?
I'm fine with him going back. I mean, good for him. He tried. I mean, he got us a really good reliever, and at the time when he wasn't doing drugs, a pretty good second baseman. So I mean, he did what he could do. It's not on him.
Just speaking of shots in the arm.
Speaking of shots in the butt, booty. Anyway, I mean, what are you gonna do? Congratulations to Brody. God bless. Make lots of money for Jay-Z. Hook up with the Mets. You're the man now. Now you got to hook up with the Mets in Queens, Jay-Z in Brooklyn. What are you gonna do? Gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Make a lot of money.
Keith, what do you think about it? You think he's kind of gone back to his roots and that's where he should have been? I think you're on mute.
He's going right back where he should be as a scumbag agent. He came to the Mets. He took the Mets' money. He poured it into his own clients. A lot of BS. He was the agent side of the deal that orchestrated the terrible Cespedes deal. Why would you hire an agent that duped you into hiring Cespedes for so long? And then when you're in the middle of just being screwed by Cespedes, you go right ahead and then hire the same guy. So obviously he just duped you too. And then he goes ahead and takes Jet is dead, dumps $20 million to him to never play a game on the field, or maybe one or two. Good riddance.
He had 8 at bats, Keith. He did a great job, 8 at bats. No hits.
Cespedes really does suck balls, though. I gotta tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, whatever. Good for him. Just good for him. See you later. I don't want to hear shit about him no more.
All right. Last couple of things here.
Yeah, don't bring him up, Faraci. You suck.
And then we'll head off into the
pot smokers and Bigfoot again.
You seem
Yeah,
so
but
angry.
don't
Maybe
be so
you should go
Why are
and
you so
smoke something.
angry about it? Why are you so angry about Bigfoot? Good God, man.
And like as if I'm the one making
I
so
know.
like I created it. I said what
You
the
did.
people in the story said.
You inspired that
What
story.
are
I
you
know
so
you wrote. I
mad
know you
about?
reached out to the reporter. You
We should
inspired
go.
it, and you got him to write it or her.
Keith,
I
we
did.
should go. We should go.
I made the
Keith.
senator do his thing too.
All
All right,
would you go
I know
with
you
us?
did.
Would you drive?
Because you're an influencer.
Oklahoma.
Find some Bigfoot. We'll take Keith in the back of the truck.
What do we?
With a,
Oh my
with a
god!
gun. With a
Let's
gun.
do it. I'm
Let's
in.
go. Road trip to
we
find
just
Why,
shot
some
from
why
the
I
road.
gotta be in the
Bigfoot.
back of the truck?
We'll do it live.
But you
I want
got-
to. I'll be driving the truck. Y'all get in the fucking back. I mean,
Oh,
what?
I'll be lounging in the back then. I was giving you the
All right,
biggest seat, bro.
Speaking of back of the truck, George, if you're still on, his father used to back in the day when it was okay.
I'm
to
not
be
sharing
dangerous,
no back seat with you.
his father used to jump in the back of his father's pickup truck. He'd drive us to school. 125.
That's fun.
Yeah. Now you get arrested for it though.
Sounds like a lot of molesting. It's a lot of fun. What's going on?
No,
All right,
George's
Aaron
father.
Loop. Aaron Loop. I think
Aaron
that's how you
Loop.
pronounce his last name. Keith gave me no insight into that whatsoever. He's left me here just to say, pronounce it however I want to pronounce it.
Why are you blaming Keith?
So he's our newest reliever. He's a lefty. He used to pitch for the Rays. ERA, if I'm remembering correctly, around 3.40 career. Rodriguez, was that what we saw earlier?
I thought it was 3.43 or something. Whatever it was good.
Yeah, real close.
His career ERA is 3.38. Come on, do your homework. But go ahead.
Oh,
yeah, I did.
It's the big shot now.
So
it's the big shot.
So he's coming from the Rays last year. Obviously, a shortened season last year, had about 25, 26 innings pitched. He's a lefty specialist. So he did not give up a home run in those 26 innings to a lefty. I think I heard something along the lines of a batting average against with lefties about 110. So we play now in a world where lefty specialists are not once they once were. Because the new rule, you come in, you got to pitch the three batters, or pitch for the last out of the inning. So
I enjoyed the lefty specialist, man. I really did. It was really kind of cool to bring
all the in and out,
all
the
in and out stuff.
Well,
I kind of missed that.
Yeah, and then gone are the days, and I'm saying this blindly, but Oliver Perez, who reinvented himself later in his career as a lefty specialist reliever. I don't know how he's done since the rule has been implemented, but
dude, he's good.
I don't want him.
He's good. He's still good. Oliver Perez is coming back with the black
jersey. He'll come to the
Mets,
and lefties will hit 460 against him.
He'll do good unless he plays the Mets, right? But the day of specialist, lefty specialist, is kind of out the window. I mean, there's no such thing anymore.
It is gone. You're right.
Yeah.
And this guy Loop, and that is the right way to pronounce his name, by the way, Loop. He's only had a couple really good seasons, so I'm not quite sure what to take of this. It is good we got a lefty arm in there, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Hey, look at Rodriguez there. I've been looking at your muscles. You're really distracting me.
Dude. That's what the pandemic has done.
Yes. Does that have anything to do with the lotion that Keith has?
You put the basket in the lotion, what?
put the lotion in the basket.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went after Brad Hand.
Those are Keith's arms.
Popeye. We went after Brad Hand, but obviously this guy is somebody who wanted to be a closer. We couldn't guarantee that, so it didn't matter what we offered him. He wasn't going to come here. So he goes 95 south. And
he only wanted 1 year anyway.
Yeah, and it was weird because the reports said 1 year, 2 years, whatnot. But the most important thing to him was to be a closer. And he'll get that opportunity in Washington. Not many, but and he's going to be just like the last closer for Washington. Remember Sean Doolittle?
Just report the news, and then at the end of it, slam him.
Five. I think this guy Doolittle had something like a 5.4 ERA against us, which is great.
Did.
All right. So look, Yeah. Sorry, Keith.
No, I was just gonna say that the whole Brett Hand situation. People, a lot of Met fans, as we know, always doesn't matter. They can sign the best player in the league for every position, and Met fans will complain somehow. But this guy,
Right.
I'm proud of Sandy just being completely honest with him. This is the direction of our team. No, you're probably not going to be a closer, but we would really like to have you on our team. And he says, no, I want to be a closer and left. It's okay. That happens. The player had other goals in mind, and we have a different direction in mind. Don't get upset about it. It's okay. We don't want to hire a player that's not going to be in the same direction that we're trying to build our team towards. It's okay. It sucks that he went to the Nationals. I'd rather him go to Texas or the Mariners, but
Mariners.
Yeah.
Texas
Seattle.
and Mariners.
Those are my two throwaway teams I don't want to face players. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So
all right. So
I hope he sucks and has a terrible 2-year career.
I think it's a 1-year deal. All right. Look, if you guys are down here in South Florida, Sterling's Paradise, located at 360 State Road 7 in Margate. The number is there for you to call. Phenomenal Haitian food. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Check them out. I want to say they're on like Grubhub and all those delivery apps.
And phenomenal people. I mean, we know them personally.
What's more convenient than those delivery apps? Huh?
Great girl.
We know them personally. The people who own that place are phenomenal. You're getting, you're helping a small business, and delicious food and great people. So get your ass over there and get some food.
All right, we're gonna put a big old blue and orange ribbon on this bad boy.
Let's do that.
We had a lot more things to talk about than what we thought. So we'll move our most hated Mets, most disliked Mets, till next week. So it'll give you guys more of an opportunity to get your entries in.
It's the offseason. We got a lot of time to talk about a lot of stuff.
We got a poll out there, right? I believe.
Yeah,
right?
we put a post up there, and there was some discussion in there.
Okay.
But now this gives us an opportunity to do a week's long worth of stuff. So let's put that ribbon. Another week's long worth of stuff.
You like Schlong?
All right, Keith.
You like Schlong?
Any closing remarks here?
Calling Dr. Schlong.
Yeah, so I'm just my closing remark is I'm going to go position by position of the players that I hate the most that wear on the Mets. No, seriously, let's go Mets. I am so happy with our direction of our new ownership. I don't want Trevor Bauer. However, I will not be angry if we hired him, but I don't think it's the right direction for the team. A player that was 1.5, 2 years, a great player. The rest of the time, mediocre at best. And obviously cheating with his higher spin rate at an older age. So not into it.
Obviously cheating.
Obviously cheating. My opinion. Let's go Mets. Brian Hum sucks. And Flocka to Kurt Schilling's mouth.
Boom. Rodriguez, what you got?
Flocka to Kurt Schilling. Listen, what's his name? Trevor Bauer?
Yep, you had it.
Trevor Bauer?
Trevor Trower.
Trevor Bauer. I'll take him. The kid's a scientist, man. He analyzes baseball. I've seen his YouTube videos. I watch every single one he's been throwing out just to get some kind of into his brain to see, and I like it. The kid is a worker, man. Whatever we sign him for, he's a worker. He studies the game. You could tell he's earnest and he really wants to be really good in the game. However, it is a lot, and I think he shouldn't get more than DeGrom. But it may be what it takes to sign him. He's a good pitcher, and a staff of him with DeGrom, with Carrasco, with Stroman, with Noah, with Lucchesi filling in the at the end, whenever. Lucchesi or Mutz and Loogie. I mean, that's some stuff coming at you, man. That's some good pitchers. So I would sign Bauer. So anyway, let's go Mets. Good luck. I hope we sign somebody this week. At least anybody else. We already signed somebody today, but it doesn't matter. I want a Bauer. Let's go Mets.
Right, that rotation just gave me goosebumps, man. That rotation we were talking about. I mean,
think about that.
So look, I'm in on Bauer on a short term deal. That's what I'm. If it takes $35 million a year, whatever.
I like to analyze him because I don't know if he's sane enough to be a New York guy. He may not blow off,
or if he's so insane, he's perfect for New York.
Because we're short on time, I'm going to get too much into that. But this is the same guy that shot a ball into center field and was pissed off in the Indians. This is the same guy that goes on Twitter and cries and whines. Yeah, but you got to have some composures, okay? You know, it's a little bush league. You know, it's the same thing like A-Rod rounding second and yelling in the shortstop's ear.
Maybe he's evolving. I seen him when he was young, and I saw his pitching sense, the way he threw. It's nothing like what he throws now.
Like I said,
he has evolved himself. Maybe he's growing up.
I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, "Oh, if we sign Bauer, I'm mad." No, I'll be thrilled.
I know you will.
But I'd rather see other things happen, which we'll talk about in our next show. The three things we want to see, which some of them
maybe they'll all happen by then.
Some of them may come into fruition before then, but yeah.
Maybe they'll all happen before we end the show.
Next show topic, in addition to the worst players per position.
All right. You guys out there know what to do. Do your thing. Socially distance, wear your mask. Let's get this over with. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to go out. I want to go to Orlando. I want to go safely anywhere. I want to go to the games this year. I want to go to
Epcot and go walk around the world and get drunk.
The food and wine thing start. If this is not gone by food and wine, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going there with no mask. I'm going to drink.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm going to dry hump coronavirus.
And Brian Holmes sucks.
Be safe for me, Keith. All right. That'll wrap it up for us this week. Thank you guys for joining me again, as always. We're almost there, guys. We're almost going to hit season 4 as spring training approaches. So looking forward to that. Thank you to producer Joe for all the help behind the scenes.
Producer Joe.
And like we say every week, we'll talk to you guys next week with some more Mets goodness. Peace out, everybody.